Sonic 3 didn't just stop at being amazing, it stunned everyone with a spectacular post-credit scene that revealed the next movie's big bad, Metal Sonic. But do you really know everything about this mechanical and malevolent version of the world's fastest hedgehog?
It's hard to copy perfection.
Metal Sonic first appeared in Sonic CD. He was created using data from the Blue Hedgehog to be a mechanical copy with all his abilities. That's right, Metal Sonic is just as powerful and fast as Sonic, or maybe even more. And if you're wondering who created him, the answer is simpler than it seems. It's none other than Sonic's greatest nemesis, Dr. Robotnik. After countless defeats, the scientist realized that the only one capable of defeating Sonic was Sonic himself. Metal Sonic is the complete opposite of our hero's ideals. While Sonic represents freedom and justice, his mechanical counterpart is a soulless tool created by Robotnik to carry out his every command. Most importantly, to destroy his enemies. Sonic runs for fun and to help others, but Metal Sonic runs only to hunt down and eliminate his targets. This villain is also Sonic's polar opposite in personality. Instead of being witty and hyperactive, Metal Sonic is extremely patient and serious. In his downtime, the robot simply remains motionless, because he exists solely to follow orders. His chilling design closely resembles the robots from the Terminator. Considering how popular the franchise was when Sonic CD came out, it's likely the movies inspired Metal Sonic's creation. Although he appears to be completely obedient, over time, it became clear that Metal Sonic has a will of his own. After being defeated by Sonic, the android developed a sort of obsession with surpassing him. He sees himself as an upgraded version of Sonic and aims to defeat him to prove technology's superiority over nature. But since Metal Sonic has been beaten by his predecessor time and time again, he's grown increasingly resentful of the real Sonic, turning into someone deeply vengeful. Here's a little spoiler. His goal of proving his superiority will at some point override his programming, leading him to disobey Dr. Robotnik. Want to know how all this could play out in an exciting way in Sonic 4? Then get ready, because it's time for another Cinewave. Just like Sonic 2 ended with the epic reveal of Shadow, the third installment also teased the next movie's antagonist to get fans hyped. And the strategy worked perfectly. Everyone online was talking about it after the movie premiered. In the post-credit scene, our hero is confronted by Metal Sonic and several identical robots, who are quickly taken down by Amy, who's also introduced in this scene. This makes perfect sense, since both characters first appeared in the same game, Sonic CD. This scene not only introduces the villain in a super cool and terrifying way, but also raises two important questions that will be addressed in the fourth movie. First, there are multiple Metal Sonics. Second, they seem pretty weak, as Amy easily defeats them. In other words, these Metal Sonics are not the final version we know. That version will likely debut in Sonic 4, leading an army of robotic hedgehogs. If you're excited to see Metal Sonic wreak havoc in the next Sonic movie, drop a comment below with #robot. Just like in the games, Metal Sonic, or rather the Metal Sonics in the movies, will likely be a creation of Dr. Robotnik. At some point, he must have used that quill the Blue Hedgehog left behind to copy his data and create multiple robotic versions of him. However, as we mentioned earlier, it seems the robots in the post-credits scene aren't very strong. They're probably incomplete, missing crucial data to become perfect replicas of Sonic. That's why Amy is able to defeat them so easily. But someone has to be commanding all these robots. The question is it Dr. Robotnik? Jim Carrey, the actor who plays the mad scientist, mentioned back in 2022 that Sonic 2 might be his last movie. However, he found the script for the third film so good that he agreed to return. Now, we're unsure if that was his final appearance in the franchise or if he'll decide to stay on for future films. Either way, we believe Metal Sonic will act as a consciousness controlling all the robots through a main body. He'll follow Dr. Robotnik's orders one way or another. If Jim Carrey returns, we'll see the same dynamic we know from the games. If he doesn't, the scientist has likely pre-programmed all the robots' commands to ensure Sonic's defeat. The first thing we think this metallic villain will do is go after another quill left behind by the Blue Hedgehog to gain more power. But Sonic will manage to beat him easily, forcing the villain to flee in humiliation. This marks the beginning of the android's hatred for the hero, just like in the games. Since the movies tend to take a more emotional route, we think Metal Sonic will feel extremely lonely and unloved. He'll spy on Sonic from afar, watching him with his family and friends, and grow intensely jealous. This will lead to Metal Sonic developing a twisted belief that to be loved, he must surpass and eliminate the Blue Hedgehog to take his place. The villain will eventually steal more quills from Sonic, becoming just as powerful as him. This will set up an epic, evenly matched battle between the two. This time, Metal Sonic will come close to defeating his rival, but Sonic will use the Chaos Emeralds to transform. And just when we think the hero has won, Metal Sonic will reveal that he, or Robotnik, has managed to create replicas of the Chaos Emeralds, the Chaos Rings, which appear in Knuckles Chaotix. While the Chaos Rings have a different origin in the game, we believe they'll be reimagined here as replicas of the Chaos Emeralds, much like the writers altered the Master Emerald's backstory in Sonic 2 to simplify the plot. With the Chaos Rings, Metal Sonic will overpower his predecessor. However, Sonic's friends will come to his aid, and Metal Sonic won't be able to handle all of them at once. But just like in Sonic Heroes, the characters will realize they were manipulated into chasing the villain. At this point, Metal Sonic will break free from Robotnik's programming and orders, copying data from all of the characters to transform into Neo Metal Sonic, and later into Metal Overlord. The android's goals will evolve, and he'll aim to replace everyone with machines to create a world where he's no longer different from anyone else. The climax will closely resemble Sonic Heroes, featuring an absurdly intense battle between the giant robot and the heroes. Since Sonic is the protagonist, the android will ultimately be defeated, but he will undoubtedly have been the greatest threat Sonic and his friends have ever faced. If you think this robot isn't all that, we'll tell you about all the terrible things he's done in the games, just so you don't think we're making this stuff up. Most of the theories we've shared about what could happen come straight from the games themselves. Liked the idea, didn't you? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel to catch all our videos about Sonic and tons of other amazing cartoons. Metal Sonic's debut in the gaming world was nothing short of impactful. In Sonic CD, Dr. Robotnik aims to steal the Time Stones, powerful gems similar to the Chaos Emeralds, but capable of manipulating time itself. To accomplish this, Robotnik creates Metal Sonic, whose first act of villainy is to kidnap Amy Rose, who was just a little girl at the time, and use her as a hostage to keep Sonic out of his way. The android shows no remorse for endangering a child, revealing just how cold and ruthless he is. Of course, this only motivates Sonic to chase them down and rescue Amy, leading to his first ever showdown with his robotic clone. It's also the first of many times the villain would face defeat at Sonic's hands. What's even more humiliating is that Metal Sonic's downfall in this battle comes from a trap that Robotnik originally set for Sonic himself. At the same time, this showcases Metal Sonic's resilience. He's been destroyed multiple times, but he always returns. Being a robot, Robotnik can simply rebuild him to keep sending him after his enemies. A perfect example of Metal Sonic's persistence is found in Knuckles Chaotix, a game starring Knuckles that takes place after Sonic CD. In this story, Metal Sonic gets a new body and returns to assist Dr. Robotnik in finding the Chaos Rings. This time, Robotnik makes Metal Sonic absorb the Chaos Rings' energy, transforming him into a massive red monstrosity that players must battle. He becomes incredibly powerful, and even then, he's defeated by only the slimmest of margins. Now let's talk about the game where Metal Sonic truly proved his potential as a villain, Sonic Heroes. In this game, players can control nearly every character in the Sonic universe, split into Team Sonic, Team Dark, Team Rose, and Team Chaotix. All the teams are after Dr. Eggman, or pursuing goals that inevitably lead them to him because he claims to have built a world-destroying machine. However, the big twist comes at the end. Eggman isn't the true villain, it's Metal Sonic. The android's obsession with surpassing Sonic and proving that technology is superior to nature drives him to break his programming and betray his creator, taking Eggman's place. He manipulates all the heroes into confronting him, intending to copy their data and transform into Neo Metal Sonic, and later, his ultimate form, Metal Overlord. In his final form, Metal Overlord can only be defeated by the entirety of Team Sonic, powered up by the Chaos Emeralds. Even Super Sonic alone isn't enough. Tails and Knuckles must transform as well. This game marks the moment Metal Sonic evolves from a mere servant to a genuine threat. He nearly defeats everyone and conquers the world. His intelligence and manipulative abilities are just as dangerous as his power, as he deceives all the characters to achieve his sinister goals. Metal Sonic has also caused chaos in various other games, animations, and comic books. In the Archie comics series, he makes frequent appearances, including adaptations of the Sonic Heroes plotline and his transformations into Neo Metal Sonic and Metal Overlord. In the comics, he's even been reprogrammed using magic to follow the orders of the Nagas twins instead of Robotnik, transforming into Crystal Sonic. Considering everything this character has done across different versions, imagine the chaos Metal Sonic could unleash in Sonic 4. We've left 2 awesome videos on your screen. Just click one to keep having fun. Thanks, and see you next time.